Let me start out this video by talking about self-awareness. This has got nothing to do with the topic. I know whatever you tuned in for. So I'm backing out my driveway just to come down here and start making this video and go to my chosen destination. And there's a guy who's making a delivery, something I was expecting to come in today, pulls up and blocks my whole entire driveway with his truck. Bro, you see me inching out. You see me inching out, my reverse lights are on, and you just pull up and just stop because your GPS, I'm assuming, is telling you reached their destination or destination's on the right or whatever. Come on, brother. Come on, brother. So I got out, talked to him. Oh yeah, I'll just take the package, whatever. Bro gets back. I put the package in the house. Get back. I'm getting back in the car. I look at him. This dude starts digging in the back of his truck to get his next drop off. With no consideration about moving. No consideration about moving. Come on, man. Until you finish? I gotta be stuck until you finish? That's what we're doing here? All right. I just want to rant about that. Listen, self-awareness, man. I wanted to kind of, I don't know, I'm going to try to bring this all together about what type of world we're living in and, where we're going and what's going on and this, that, and the other. Did I forget my water bottle? No, I actually have my water bottle here. Yeah. So this is what's going on here, man. Just people are just selfish. I want to start this off by talking about, some of the things that sometimes, sometimes the things that ladies say, and I get there's some things that their guys say that are just absolutely asinine, but one of the things that really, really irks me is when ladies talk about they really reveal their lack of self-worth. Not self-worth, or what they think about themselves, or how they view themselves. I guess it is self-worth. And so when they say, I'll do this for the right man. I'll do that for the right man. I'll be submissive for the right man. I'll cook and clean for the right man. I'll wash this dude's clothes. I'll do whatever traditional roles that those who are looking for traditionalism ask for. And if you're not willing to do that, and you give yourself to a man, if you give yourself to a man who is unworthy physically, he is not what you want. As far as productivity, he's not what you want. He's not on his game. He don't have a car, job, house, apartment, couch to sleep on, pot to piss in, a window to throw it out of. Right? You don't have none of that. He don't have none of that, but you giving this man your body. But then a right dude comes along, the right guy comes along, and you got to make this dude wait, right? Then now you have all these standards and whatnot. I don't know if ladies hear themselves when they say this kind of stuff, but it totally turns the vast majority of good men off. There ain't no one gonna deal with that. You've been giving yourself to Pookie, Ray, and Nim. Pookie, Ray, Nim. And the good guy come along, and now he's got to wait. He's got to. I don't know if you hear how that sounds. Listen, I just don't know how that. I just don't know if ladies hear themselves when they say that, and it just shows that just a lack of self-awareness, lack of what you sound like when you say that kind of stuff. I'm going to say this for the right guy, and all this, that, and the other. And of course, my admonition to the guy is to be that dude, is to be that right guy, right? And up your game and up your standards, right? If you haven't watched the video that I did with Kosher Clinician, the live that we did, go back and watch that, right? He really dropped some really some good gems. I was rewatching the other day. He was really dropping some really valuable insight. And one of the questions that I asked him was, how does a man begin to know his worth, his self-value? And he gave his answer about just kind of establishing it, standing on business, or whatever his how he verbalized. But I wanted to add to that, and that's going to come with accomplishments. That comes with accomplishments. And the reason that a lot of women are not respecting you as a man, or a lot of times men, because they don't feel it as if they have accomplished anything. Now, you as a man, you got to have those accomplishments. And they got to be, jobs, promotions, certifications, licenses, skills, trades, driving a truck, working at a factory, becoming a manager, becoming a forklift operator, right? You can't just sit on your laurels, working, 40, 50, 60 hours a week, even if you put in overtime, and think that that's going to think that should be okay. And not in being a relationship. You can certainly do that. I got no problem with dudes. And I think that they should, kind of, I don't know if you want to call it quiet quitting or whatever, but just kind of relaxing, because the game out here is just absolutely nuts, in particular when it comes to male-female relationships, male-female dynamic. I understand it's just it's bizarre. It's not something that I can honestly tell any man of any age to really actively participate in, because it just seems to be so unworth it. So unworth it. So if you're going to be in a relationship, let me just put that caveat on it. You're going to be in a relationship. You got to move up. And you cannot expect, and I know that we want to look at the world and say, man, my father didn't have to work this hard, and they got twice the amount of women, and these women today can't cook, clean, don't want to cook, clean, don't want to play their own traditional roles, but they want you as the guy to play your role. They'll tell you quick that you gotta, my uncles and this, you know how to change tires and this, that. I'm not saying guys should not know how to do that. I'm advocating for that, full stop. You should know how to take care of yourself, take care of the things around you. I'm doing some work around my house, right? Painting and stuff. And people are asking me, you know how to paint? What? What kind of question is that? I mean, you take it off the can and slap it on the wall. Now, there's some techniques and skills, and obviously I watch some YouTube videos and stuff. But listen, you can't be scared to get out there and try and do for yourself and do for your own. Right, I'm not rewiring a house, right? If as far as electrically, right, or doing plumbing, right, that kind of stuff, you got to, just welding in that and rewiring a house, you burn up down or electrocute yourself if you don't know what you're doing, right? So, but painting a house, painting a room in a house, power washing your own house, changing your own tires, changing the inner guts of a toilet. I was doing that since I was 13 years old, literally, right? So listen, as a man, you got to know how to do that. So I'm just floored when dudes are saying, you know how to paint. I don't understand. Are you trolling me? I mean, what kind? I mean, I don't know what's going on. And these are people my age asking me this. People my age. I don't know if they're serious. What do you mean? Do I know how to paint? I don't understand what you mean by that. I don't know what you mean by that. What do you mean when I know how to paint? So you got to be competent. That's what I'm saying. You got to be competent. They'll do this for the right guy who's competent. If you don't come in there with a certain level of confidence, you don't listen to that. They'll do this for the right man, and it just bothers me. Bothers me to no end when I hear that type of conversation. Because again, they are putting this on some people. They're putting this on some people who and they'll break the rules for some people. Now some people can be seen as a negative, right? If you're some people and you don't have a job card, whatever, right? Obviously, you're probably not listening to this. And you're just kind of going along. Hey, listen, I'm gonna do that. That's right. I'm one of the dudes that's banging your girl out when you're out of town, or I'm driving around in her car, right? She at work. I got it like that. I'm not talking to those type of dudes, right? I mean, I'm talking to the ladies who go for that type of dude, and I'm certainly talking to the ladies who want to deal with that type of dude and then want to come back around. Or when you're baby mother, or when you got been burned and run through and have your money taken and been used and abused and bailed this dude out of jail and this and that, and now you want to come back around to the quote unquote good dude. Nah, man, nah. We done with that. We done with that. We done with that. We are done with that. We are done with that. So I just want to make this video to let you know, listen, Listen, to the guys out there, become confident. Your confidence and who you are is built and based around this idea of what you have accomplished in life. And don't let anybody tell you, right? This is gaslight crap garbage about you don't have to, a man's manhood is more than a sum total of the amount of money he gives and this. Yeah. Oh, okay. That don't work in the real world. That don't work in paying bills, buying homes, paying car notes, putting kids through school, buying school clothes, buying college tuition. It don't work in that way. I don't know. We're living in this time of just absolute gaslighting. You think you can just come home to a woman and have her, she's been out of work all day, she's working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, and she wants to come home to a man who's been cooking and cleaning and got his apron on and just ready to ravage his clothes off? You think that's how the world works? You think that's how female psychology and biology works? What are y'all talking about when you say this kind of nonsense? You think your woman wants to come home and have you just get her slippers and listen and just cuddle up and just listen to her rant about her day? And me? No. I did a video about man keeping, right? They don't want to listen to your problems. I don't believe that. They don't want to listen to your problem. They want you to manage their emotions and listen to their problems. That's what they want. That's what they want. I believe this nonsense. A man is more than that. He's got to bring more to the table than finances. He's got to be more than a wallet. They don't mean none of that. And I'm not telling you to be an emotionally closed off dude who never talks about his feelings or whatever. Certainly you got to get it out some way, somehow, right? Because you hurt, you bleed, you have emotions, you have problems, you have issues, you got concerns, you're depressed about the past. You're anxious sometimes about the future. There's layoffs on your job. There's things happen, and you got to get it out. You got to talk about it. I don't think you should talk about it with your woman. I definitely don't think you should talk about it with your woman. That is a bad idea. Because if you panic, she's gonna panic. And I've had ladies tell me that, right? Ladies told me that if I see a man panic and he don't know what's going on, how am I gonna be okay? How am I gonna think everything's? They don't want to listen. Don't listen to this garbage out here. They will have you single, lonely, and your girl will leave you. Your girl will leave you, go into the arms of somebody who's financially or more emotionally stable, who's a rock. I don't want to hear that. Don't believe that nonsense. So, become that dude, become competent, confident, and how do you do that? Again, I'm adding on to Kosher Clinicians' ideas, is you got to accomplish something. You have to accomplish something. Let me play this video here because I think it kind of goes into that.
Hesitant for a quick second. Okay, so I have a really quick story time about this guy who asked me on a date. So I was at the gym in my apartment complex, and there was this guy there that I'd seen there only one other time, and I know that he's moved in recently because I work here. So anyways, I thought he was cute before. He's super tatted. I was like, okay, he's kind of cute. So he starts talking to me about my tattoos. We just talked about that for 10 minutes or so, and then we were just chatting. And he's like, and I was like, okay, well, have a nice day, because usually I don't give him the time of day anyway, especially not when I work for the apartment complex and they live here, because been there, done that, not a good idea. And I was like, okay, well, nice meeting you, in person, officially, have a nice day. So he says, can I take you out for a drink sometime? And I was like, hesitant for a quick second, but I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm single, what's it gonna hurt? So I said, oh, you wanna take me for a drink? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, I'll give you my number. So I give him my number, and I was like, just text me. So later that day, I get the text, but I'm about to show y'all what what the text looked like and why this went nowhere. And I haven't seen him since. This is why I don't date. Y'all just suck. Everybody sucks. You can't ask me out for a drink and then, anyways, here it is. So that's the text. So I'm just immediately, no, I never responded. Because why would you ask me if you could take me out for a drink just to invite me over? Oh my God, he's walking by. Right, that's too funny. So my point is, why would you invite me to your apartment? I get it. Maybe I try to think maybe it's cultural. He's from another country. He's Hispanic, which I don't even normally do that anyway because they're crazy. But I was like, okay, maybe it's a cultural. And then I was just like, no, like why would you not take me out for a drink if that's what you asked me, and instead you are inviting me to come to your apartment? Like, why would I go to a man's apartment our first time we hang out? Like, I'm not gonna ever do that. So I don't know if I was giving hoe. Maybe I was giving hoe with my shorts in the gym. I don't know, but yeah, I just felt like that didn't even deserve a response. Like, that was just my take on it. He was cute. He is cute. But like, do I look like a drinking Netflix chill fuck kind of girl? Probably, but whatever. Like, I'm not. So you could have taken me out for a drink. Oh, maybe I would have been feeling spicy. Who knows? Who knows what could have happened? Like, sometimes, I don't know. I just feel like he fucked it up. So I just want y'all's opinions. He is much younger than me too. So I'm like, I don't think the age even matters. To be honest, I have already decided in my life that men don't change anyway, so I don't even think age has anything to do with it. But do you think it could have been a cultural thing, or was I giving easy, or what? But y'all's opinion.
I'm not trying to be funny, baby. I don't know you personally, but listen, maybe you blew it.
So here this lady is. These ladies will break the rules for the who they want to break the rules for. They will break the rules for who they want to break the rules for. Now, this particular lady said a couple things in this video that were really kind of eye-opening. She said that she will she didn't date with people that she worked in the housing complex. She didn't date them because it's a bad idea, and I talked about that. You shouldn't date where you eat. Dating where you eat. You shouldn't date where you work at, right? It's called eat. I'm thinking about eating where you crap at, right? You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't date where you work at. Bad idea. Another bad idea is where you live at, right? Because now you got to see these people all the time. If things go wrong, right? If things go wrong, exes and stuff, right? It's a bad idea. And this lady kind of violated two of those, it seems like. At least one in her mind that was a bad idea, but she worked at this particular place. She lived at this particular place. Obviously, this is two, right? It's two things that she violated. So she violated those two things, right? Because this guy was cute. Third thing she violated was she didn't really like this dude. She didn't really date Hispanic or Latin men or whatever she said, for whatever reason, right? Because of their level of machismo, right? But she said he was a good-looking dude, had a conversation about tax, and just decided to just give him a try. Next thing you know, lo and behold, given these stories are true and accurate, who knows? Everything's AI. A bunch of stuff is AI these days, and this, that, and the other. So who knows? So she's going down this road, and the next thing you know, she's violating. So she violated three of those rules, and just gets disappointed. But you knew this. But you knew this was going to happen. That's where I wanted to tie this all in at. You knew that this was going to happen. Your instincts, your own rules told you that this was going to happen, and you did it anyway. And now look what you. And now look, everything that you thought was going to come true did come true. Everything that you didn't hold to your values, you didn't hold to your standards, you didn't hold to whatever you want to call it. And now you're in a situation where this has happened, and now. But you told yourself this. You knew this was going to happen. You said this to yourself. You understood the reasons and the possible ramifications of what would happen, and you did it anyway. You understood what happened when you date a pookie. You understand what happens when you date a dude with 3 baby mamas, and you're the fourth. You understand that. You understand that, or do you? Or do you or do you understand that? Or do you understand that? So this is what we're dealing with today. This is what men are looking out into the world and seeing these type of women who are engaging, who are seemingly having it all together and really don't have it all together. Mentally, emotionally, they just don't have it all together. They just don't have it all together. And it's not obviously all women and all that kind of stuff, but there's a lot of them out here just running around here, breaking their own rules, coming up with the same things. And not to mention that, right, if in the video that she played, right, she's got the screenshots up, right? And the dude just invites her into her house because it works. All right, well, listen, I got so many other people, probably a good looking dude, got so many other people, just, all right, well, listen, if not you, it'll be somebody else. Why should I take you out for a drink? Why should I take you out for a drink? And we can just sit home and get straight to it. Because ladies have lowered their value. Ladies have lowered their value. They don't value that. I'm not gonna take. Why should I take you out for a drink? Why should I take you out for a drink? And we can sit here, watch a movie, maybe order a pizza, maybe not, feed you or not, drink while we're here, drink what I got in my refrigerator or my cabinet, and get to it. You ladies set up the standard. You all set it up. When you dress like she said she dressed in the video. Yeah, to cut it off for a second there. So she said in the video that she she broke her own rules. She went down this path that she thought, and she dressed a certain way in the video. She dressed a certain way while she's moving around, and you ladies have set this up, and now a lot of ladies are complaining. A lot of ladies on videos, TikTok, social media, complaining about this world that they have set up, and these guys don't want to put in effort. They don't want to put in work. Why are the guys not interested? Why are the guys not chasing men? How come they're not interested? How come they don't go after women like they used to? How come they're not meeting us at these different dating events, speed dating? How come they're not in bars and clubs? How come they don't ask us out? How come they're not pursuing us? How come they ghost us? How come they don't? All this type of stuff. You're asking the question about why they do all this type of stuff. Because this is the environment that you created. You created this. You did. So, my message is to the ladies, think about what you're saying. Think about what you're saying when you say this type of stuff, right? I'm only going to do this. I'll do this for this certain type of man. But you won't do it for the other type of man. You make him work harder for it. And the guys are now waking up and saying, I'm not gonna chase anyone. I'm not gonna chase a woman who's going to make me work harder than the guy who got it for free, for the baby mama for the baby daddy who got it for free. If you think guys are gonna chase that type of woman, to chase her down, to pay her bills, to tell her that she's lovely, to take her out on dinner, to take her out on drinks, take her out for drinks, to do all this different type of stuff, and you'll break your rules for somebody else. We didn't create these rules, but we're going to learn to play, and we're going to play to win. All right, I got to add this on here. So I got to insert this at some point here because I went and rewatched the whole video, right? So she blew, some of her own standards. She blew some of her own standards. Dating in the place where she lived, where she worked at, those are two. Dating a guy who's younger than her, dating a guy from a different country. Hopefully she's not just a complete racist about Hispanic men, maybe a Hispanic men who came from the U.S., but maybe she don't deal with people from, Honduras or Guatemala or whatever. I don't know. But she broke all these different rules and just messed it all up, and just, and then she said, maybe I'm a hoe, maybe I was given a hoe, or maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I'm given 304. Or maybe I'm given, who knows? I'm not this type of girl that's going to sleep around. But then if you would have played your cards right, you would have got it, because I would have got spicy after a couple of drinks. And you want good men to look at these type of videos and follow after that. So I got to insert this somewhere in here, but you want good men to come up after and follow this. Let me continue on with the rest of my rant. So let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Hit me in the comment section. I made this long enough. And listen, this is a conversation you ladies got to have amongst yourself. Y'all have messed up the game. You've messed up good men. Good men don't want to be engaged, don't want to be involved. They want to, they're going overseas. They rather not date. These are good men with jobs, careers, livelihoods, things to lose, success, cars, motorcycles, travel, all the things you say you want, and these dudes are not interested. Now you got to chase them. Now you got to go after them. Now you got to offer to buy them a drink. Now you got to show them that you're not a a user, a gold digger. You got to step all up, and it comes off as the men are sad. No, the men aren't sassy. They're just sick. They're sick and tired. That's what they are. So anyway, I made this long enough. And listen, you guys got to figure this out. You ladies got to figure this out about, you guys create these rules and all this, and the guys don't want to play. They ain't gonna play. I'm not gonna play that rule. I'm not gonna play that game. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not doing that. And the other guy gets it for free. Get up out of here with that.